So a while ago, I was using my 7x7. I did the super flip pattern on it, and then I decided to do two Y-perms like this. And something really bothered me after I did this. I realized that it wasn't in the super flip pattern anymore. I'm not sure if you can see this, but the entire top center is rotated 180 degrees. Now, this didn't make very much sense because I knew that when you do two Y-perms, it brings it back to the original state. So if I started in a super flip and I did two Y-perms, then it should end in the super flip. But there was something I didn't realize. When you do two Y-perms in a row, it brings every piece back to its original state, except the center. The center twists 180 degrees. The reason this happens is because when you do a Y-perm, you do 3 U-primes and 2 U's in total. So that means if you do 2 of them to solve the cube, you get 6 U-primes and 4 U's, which equals 10. And since 10 isn't divisible by 4, then after doing 2 Y-perms, the center won't be rotated to the same place. Now that doesn't matter on a 3x3 because all the centers only have one color each, so you could do 2 Y-perms, and it would be solved. But on a super flip 7x7, this large center has many different colors on it, so when you do 2 Y-perms, it's actually visible that the center is twisted. So then I had an idea of a way that I could make a 3x3 much more difficult, and here it is. So as you can see, there's 2 black dots on every side of this 3x3. One of them is on a certain side of the center, and the other one is on the edge next to that side. So now you don't only have to solve all the corners and the edges, but also the centers. And to illustrate that Y-perm thing I was talking about, if I do 2 of them right here, this dot is now 180 degrees off from the other one. So now this 3x3 isn't solved until all the black dots are matching. So I have figured out how to solve this. There's actually 2 ways, and both of them are really easy, at least if you know how to solve a 3x3, of course. It's not really that hard because you still use all the same algorithms. It did take me quite a while to learn how to solve it though. So I figured there are only 2 ways that the black dots can be incorrect. They can be rotated 180 degrees or opposite from each other like this, or the center could be rotated 90 degrees away from the other black dot like this. So I already knew how to solve this case. It's just 2 Y-perms like this. So the tricky part was the 90-degree rotations. I needed to find an algorithm that had an odd number of U's, or U-primes. And since every single number is always even after it's doubled, I needed to find an algorithm that took 3 times to solve it. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's basically just an algorithm that if you do it 3 times in a row, it brings it back to the solved position. Because something like a Y-perm or a T-perm only takes 2 times. So one example of this is an A-perm. If I do this A-perm 3 times, it's now back to the solved position. So I tried that, but then I realized that it didn't rotate any of the centers. So that one didn't work. So it didn't take very long for me to find out that G-perms were the algorithm that worked for this. So as you can see, if I do 3 G-perms, and that's GA, I believe. Now this center is rotated by 90 degrees, but so is this one. So G-perm is the algorithm that works here, but it rotates 2 of the centers 90 degrees. That didn't end up being much of a problem, and it's actually pretty easy to solve this cube with just Y-perms and G-perms, along with all the normal steps as usual. So now I'll do an example solve. The easiest way to solve it is just to solve it normally and then deal with the centers. And since there's only 6 sides on Rubik's Cube, you could get really lucky and almost solve all the centers just by chance. But here I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them that are wrong. So I see that the green one, if I put it on top, that's wrong and it's rotated 90 degrees. And if I put the orange one, that's also rotated 90 degrees on the right. I know that if I do 3 G-perms, it will either solve these 2 sides or put them into the Y-perm position, and I'll show you that after. Because I know that when I do a G-perm, it rotates the top and the right centers 90 degrees. Or 3 G-perms actually. So in this case, I just did 3 G-perms and now the green and orange sides are solved. So now it's just the red and white sides, so I can put either one of them on top, but I have to put the other one on the right. 3 more GA-perms. Okay, I thought I messed up there. And this top one is solved, but the right one just needs to do 2 Y-perms, and now it's solved. So once you know the method, it's not that hard, but it was pretty hard to figure out the method. Thanks for watching, and if you want to see more cool videos like this, then make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell.